What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again, and I am back for my Week 9 NFL predictions. Now, of course, Week 8 just ended with the Chicago Bears upsetting the Minnesota Vikings. So my record, of course, it's another winning record. It's 9-4-1. Yes, there was another tie this week. So Week 7 tie with the Hawks and the Cardinals. Now Week 8 with the Bengals and Redskins. So I could have been 10-4. I could have been 10-4. Straight up, but of course this overtime rule definitely needs to change. Honestly, they need to change it to like college football ruling, because the college football way of doing overtime is you score a field goal, they score a touchdown, it's over. You both score a field goal, we go to double overtime. Score a touchdown, then we go to triple overtime, a touchdown, and then you have to go for a 2-point conversion. So NFL, listen, this whole overtime rule I like the whole overtime rule about the field goals not winning the game immediately, but if they both don't score, go to a double overtime. This whole tying bullshit is complete garbage. Other than that, let's get right into these picks. Of course, let's start with the bot. I want to thank everybody who did watch my Week 8 predictions. Appreciate the love. 18 comments was great. 3 likes. Of course, 3 dislikes. I know there's some salty fans out there, but relax. 322 views for that, and I really want to thank everybody who did comment and who did watch that video. So much respect and much love from this man. So let's get right into these picks, starting with the buys. Of course, there are 6 just like last week. So of course, it's the Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals, my New England Patriots, the Arizona Cardinals, the Washington Redskins, and of course the Houston Texans. So if you have any players on any of those 6 teams, make sure you take them out and have suitable replacements going into your Week 9 fantasy matchup. But let's get right into these picks. Starting with the Thursday night football game. Of course, it's an AFC South matchup with the Atlanta Falcons, the AFC South leading Atlanta Falcons heading to Tampa to play Jameis Winston and, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, of course, the Atlanta Falcons did get a squeaky victory. Hey, they won in the end. It's still a win, but honestly, I thought they were going to blow them out. Like, honestly. Then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who did lose in overtime to the Oakland Raiders, so they looked so good. I know that was a heartbreaking loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But again, they're a very young team. They're going to be good in the seasons to come. Coming with me, the Atlanta Falcons, of course, Devin Coleman did not play. They went with Devontae Freeman, of course. Everybody did good, which is great. I'm not harping on them this time, Falcon fans, so don't worry. But again, I thought they were going to just steamroll over the Packers. But of course, the Packers gave them a fight, which is good. And then with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, Jameis Winston looked good. Mike Evans looked good. The Eager Beaver Jacquizz Rodgers looked good. So this is going to be a great AFC South matchup. So in this matchup, I am going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to continue this streak. But again, they got to keep winning, or again, they were 4-0 and they lost 3 straight, but they won on Sunday. So I would just say, Falcons fans, don't collapse again, because I know last season you guys collapsed. You went 5-0, then you didn't even make the playoffs. So make sure you guys don't collapse. So I'm taking the Falcons over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this Sunday slate, of course, there is no London game, so thank God I don't have to get up at 6:30 to watch a football game. Of course, I'm going to be watching game day morning every Sunday morning on the NFL Network. So we're back to the 10 a.m. West Coast, 1 p.m. East Coast, with the first matchup in the AFC North Division. The Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is a great smash-mouth rivalry in the AFC with Pittsburgh and Baltimore. 2 teams hate each other. And, of course, this is going to be Pittsburgh is going to be, again, without Ben Roethlisberger, because he is still hurt with the torn meniscus tear. So they're going to go, of course, with Landry Jones. And, of course, they still have Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Demarius Hayward-Bay. They look good, and they have the Baltimore Ravens, who, of course, are both teams coming off a bye, so they're going to be big-time rested. Flacco's looking good, but he's not as he's not as dominant as he used to be. He does have a lot of different talents now with Pitta and Presherman and Steve Smith Sr. and like a lot their defense. Baltimore, like they better hope their defense is back. Terrell Suggs, Mosley. They're gonna have to hope their veteran defensive players are playing in this game because they can get steamrolled really quick. In this matchup, I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Baltimore Ravens because I don't think any of those defense players can stop Le'Veon or stop Antonio from going 100 yards easy. So I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Now the next matchup, the Dallas Cowboys heading to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns. Now, of course, the Dallas Cowboys did come back 10 down. They were down 23-10, come all the way back and beat the Philadelphia Eagles in overtime. Dak showed up again. Let me say that again. Dak showed up again. And Jerry Jones is seeing that, and he's going to start him this week. So, Roma, you can sit your ass down some more. Yeah. And then, of course, they got to win. They're first place in the NFC East division, so they're looking really good. Then you have the Cleveland Browns, who, of course, are still winless. They are still winless. So, and they had a 20-7 lead on the Jets, and they lost it. Again, McCown came back after the broken collarbone. He did good. Isaiah Crowell looked good for their running back. Of course, Hawkins, Andrew Hawkins, and Steve Smith Sr. looked. Not Steve Smith, Terrell Pryor Sr. looked good. So they look good, of course. But they're still losing. And now in this matchup, they're playing against Dak Prescott and Zeke the Freak. Now, and Cleveland just, and this is kind of breaking news the Patriots just traded Jamie Collins to the Browns for a draft pick. So they have something on defense. Of course, this is a kind of surprise as a Patriots fan losing Jamie Collins for draft picks, but draft picks usually come up roses sometimes with the Patriots. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Cleveland Browns because, of course, I'm going to just say right now. I'm going to say this right now. If I pick against Cleveland and that team and Cleveland beats that team, you will not see me pick them again because they failed me. They kept the multiple losing streak for the Browns is over. And Cleveland, I think they're one win away from the World Series for the Cleveland Indians, so they're going to need something, but like basketball and baseball are their things, football is just not. So I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Cleveland Browns. Now, the next matchup, the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars did lose to the Tennessee Titans on Thursday Night Football last week, so they did look good, but they were down the whole game. They fired their offensive coordinator, and I would think Gus Bradley's going to be next. I would think their coach is going to be next. So, and Jacksonville's looking like garbage. Hot, stinking garbage. And then now they got to play this Kansas City Chiefs at home at Arrowhead, who, of course, Kansas City Chiefs did beat the Indianapolis Colts for the first time. So, Indianapolis' streak of beating Kansas City is over. And Kansas City is looking like a really good team in the AFC West. Like, there's a lot of good teams in the AFC West this season. That's saying a lot. Usually it's a one team and everybody else is terrible. It's like 3 teams are good, and of course San Diego's not the best team, but they are legitimate threats. Now, of course, Alex Smith did get hurt in that game. They had to put in Nick Foles, their backup. Nick Foles, Philly fans know him. Rams fans know him. I watched him at Arizona State in college. He's a great quarterback, and of course I did hear on ESPN.com that he will be playing in that game. It wasn't concussion, but they're going to be really safe about it. And of course everybody else did good. Macklin did good. Kelsey, Spencer Ware looked good. Santandrick West looked good. So you got to look them up if you're looking for a good running back situation in Kansas City. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, in my opinion, because Jacksonville looks like the shittiest team in the AFC. Now the next matchup, the New York in the My Patriots AFC East division. Of course, the New York Jets heading to Miami to play the Miami Dolphins. Now, of course, the Jets did come from behind, down 20-7, to beat the Cleveland Browns. Let me just say this, Jets fans, you guys beat the Browns. So what? You guys haven't beaten us. I mean, yeah, you guys got to be playing us soon. So, and you got Fitzpatrick. Which seems like you guys don't trust. You guys have Bryce Petty. You have Christian Hackenberg out of Penn State, and he's a great quarterback. So is Bryce Petty. Let's see what they got. But of course they're gonna go with Fitzpatrick because it's like they don't really have a choice. Then you have the Miami Dolphins, who are of course coming off a bye. So this matchup, like, I am gonna take the Miami Dolphins because I don't think, and straight up, that the Miami defense can stop Jay Ajayi. And I watched him at Boise State. As being a Boise State Broncos fan in college football, he was maybe the best running back, best running back with Boise State. And he's looking like a great running back with Miami. And he's already got 200-yard games. So in this, I don't know if he'll get another 200, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. So I am taking the Miami Dolphins to beat the New York Jets. Now the next matchup. In the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles heading to MetLife Stadium to play the New York Giants. Now, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles just came off a loss on Sunday Night Football to the Dallas Cowboys in overtime. Of course, Philadelphia's defense showed up. Hey, I dared them to stop Zeke the Freak. They stopped them, 96 yards, 4 yards short of 100 yards. So, second team in the NFC East to stop Zeke from 100 yards. The Giants and now the Eagles. So, much respect for the Eagles for showing up against Zeke the Freak. And then you have the Giants who are just coming off a bye, so they're rested. They're back at home. Now with Eagles Eagles look good. Carson Wentz looked not too bad. Even rookies are going to have their struggles. Of course, Dak Prescott had his troubles too, so you can't fault him on that. Then you have the New York Giants, which, of course, they needed the rest. I mean, their running game is non-existent. It's all about Cruz, Shepard, Odell, their defense, and Eli. So, Eagle fans, if knowing the Eagles, they got to have some good corners to stop that triple Hydra monster in Shepard, Cruz, and Odell, and then stop the biggest head of them all, Eli Manning. So I am going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium because they need a rebound win to keep in pace with the Dallas Cowboys in the division. Now, the next match, the Detroit Lions heading to Minnesota to play the Minnesota Vikings. Now, of course, both these teams are coming off losses. Of course, Detroit losing to Houston and Minnesota just losing to Chicago on Monday Night Football. Now, the Detroit Lions look good, but of course they lost late. They were down 20-10. They were down 20-10. They were down 17-3. They were down 17-3 at halftime, so they lost 20-13. So they could have won, but of course they made sloppy mistakes. And then you have the Minnesota Vikings, who of course did lose to the Chicago Bears in a big time upset. Jay Cutler showed up, which surprisingly, Jay Cutler. Which one we're gonna get? Trick or treat, being it's Halloween today. So I want to wish everybody a happy Halloween, of course. In this matchup, I think Minnesota will bounce back because losing to Chicago is kind of embarrassing enough. So they're gonna be angry. They're gonna be pissed going into Week 9. So I'm gonna take the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Detroit Lions. Now the first of 3 East Coast teams heading to the West Coast. Carolina Panthers heading to the stadium, LA, to play the LA Rams. Now, of course, Carolina showed up and beat Arizona, coming off their bye. Jonathan Stewart did work on running it down their throats. Their defense showed up, made Carson Palmer's life a living hell, defensive-wise. Then you have the LA Rams, of course, coming off a bye. So this is going to be a good matchup. It's Carolina coming to the West Coast, and East Coast teams against West Coast teams are not good bedfellows. So coming from me, I am going to take the LA Rams to win because I think they need a win to get a little bit of a leg up in the NFC West because the Niners are terrible. Arizona's not that great, and Seattle's they're just doing work in that division. So I'm going to take the LA Rams to beat the Carolina Panthers. Now, the second of 3 East versus West matchups, of course, the New Orleans Saints heading to Santa Clara to play the San Francisco 49ers. Now, of course, the New Orleans Saints did beat my Seattle Seahawks 22 I think it was 22-7. I would think it was. It was a very touchdown. Like they won by a touchdown. Let's say it like that. They won by a touchdown. They look good. Drew Brees looked good. Mr. Clutch always coming back in the fourth as usual. That's Drew Brees for you. And then you have the San Francisco 49ers coming off a bye, so I don't know what you can say about that. I mean, if they're going to start Blaine Gabbert, they're going to start Colin Kaepernick. So, I mean, I don't know what we're going to see in this game, so I'm just going to take the New Orleans Saints to beat the San Francisco 49ers in a somewhat of a blowout. Maybe 34-17 Saints. So, Saints will beat the 49ers. Now, the next matchup. The Tennessee Titans heading to Qualcomm Stadium to play the San Diego Chargers. Now, of course, the Tennessee Titans did win on Thursday Night Football against Jacksonville Jaguars. They had a 31-0 lead at halftime and let Jacksonville come all the way back, but Tennessee shut the door. So, they did look good. Mariota looked good. Derrick Henry looked good. DeMarco Murray looked good. They all look good. Defense looked good too. Then you have the San Diego Chargers, who did lose to the Denver Broncos, which, again, this could be San Diego's coach's last chance, because if they can't beat Tennessee, then he's gonna get fired straight up, to the point. Melvin Gordon looked good. Phillip Rivers had a rough day. It's Denver's defense. It's hard to beat Denver's defense. That is for sure. So in this matchup, I am going to take the San Diego Chargers to win, because Melvin Gordon had 111 yards last night against Denver. I want to see Tennessee stop Melvin Gordon from getting 100 yards. So Tennessee, I'm putting you on notice. If you can stop Melvin Gordon from getting to 100 yards, I'll have a lot more respect for you guys than I have already. So I'm taking San Diego over Tennessee. Now, the next matchup. The Indianapolis Colts heading to Lambeau to play the Green Bay Packers. Now, of course, the Indianapolis Colts lost to the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday. They did look good, but again, faltered again. They're not looking like the perennial team in the AFC South, because I think Houston's going to win this AFC South. That is my bold prediction. I think Houston will win this division, even though they have a terrible quarterback. Like Brock Osweiler is not what they've been. He's not playing like he's being paid for. Like 7 years for that much money. He's not playing like a 7 year plus signed quarterback. So needs to pick up his game. And then you have the Green Bay Packers, who did lose in the fourth quarter, but they were up in that game the whole time. They looked good. Finally, that team woke up without James Starks, without Eddie Lacy, without Randall Cobb, without Ty Montgomery. They moved it around to Jordy and Ty and Devontae Adams. They did a lot. They did a lot with not a lot of talent around them, without their running backs, without Cobb, because Cobb and Jordy are their A-Rod's. Aaron Rodgers' bread and butter, their 1-2 punch, but they only had the one with Jordy, and Jordy did work. Coming from me, I am going to take the Green Bay Packers to win, because I think they need to win big time at home to get those Packer fans back. Maybe they can just relax. They still have we're only at week 9. We still have a few more weeks to go. They can bounce back and relax, just like Aaron Rodgers said. Just relax. Let him do the work. He looked better, which was good. I'm picking the Green Bay Packers over the Colts, because I don't think I'm getting the Colts either. It's a flip. It's a flip over coin. It's either going to be I pick them, they lose. I pick against them, they win. So I'm picking them, and if they win, then what the hell? I'm taking the Packers over the Colts. Now the Sunday night matchup in the AFC West, the Denver Broncos heading to the black hole of Oakland against the Oakland Raiders. Now, of course, the Denver Broncos did look good against San Diego. For sure, they looked really good. DeMarcus Ware is back after the injury, of course. Trevor Siemian looked good. The biggest loss for Denver, they lost C.J. Anderson for the year with a knee injury, so they're going to go with Devontae Booker. So if you're looking for a good running back in waiver wires and fantasy leagues, Devontae Booker could be your guys. And then you have the Oakland Raiders, who Now, of course, I'm going to give a lot of props to Mitchell Seagal because he's been high on the Raiders for a long time. And then I'm just jumping into it because, of course, when they got Amari Cooper, I knew they were going to do something. I didn't believe in Derek Carr at first. Mitchell can say that. Mitchell can agree with me. I didn't like Derek Carr at first. I didn't like the Raiders for a long time, but when they got Amari Cooper and then with the addition of Derek Carr, it was magic. It's AC and DC. And my friend Mitchell Segal can say that I was not a Raiders fan before until he started liking them and I started liking them. Of course, everybody in the West Coast in California love the Raiders. I can't deny it. They're really good. And beating Tampa Bay in overtime, 500 yards with Derek Carr. First Raider to do that in history. They're 6-2. Best start for the Raiders in a long time. And they're definitely deserving this. And I don't know if anybody would have ever thought that the two best teams in the AFC would have been my New England Patriots and the Oakland Raiders. It's insane, and I'm so happy for this team. I know a lot of people in California got to be happy for the Raiders this season, that this could be their year. They're actually going to break the schneid of not being in the playoffs. And this is a make it or break it game because they're both 6-2, Denver and Oakland. This is going to show if Oakland is the legit team in the West. Because they can beat Denver, and I am picking the Oakland Raiders to beat Denver because I think they damn sure deserve a win over Denver. Because Denver's always been the juggernaut team in the West. Let's have another team like the Raiders get it done. So I'm taking the Raiders over the Denver Broncos. Now, the Monday night game going against, of course, Monday Night Raw is the third of the East Coast West Coast game, and this is the first Monday night game for the Seahawks. Of course, it's the Buffalo Bills heading to CenturyLink to play my Seattle Seahawks. Now, of course, the Bills did get destroyed by my Patriots. So how you like us now, Rex? How you like us now, Rob? Rob and Rex, how you like us now? Do you want to talk all that trash? You're gonna talk all that trash about us? And what do we do? What does Brady do on your ass? 4 touchdowns? We kicked your ass. So that's all I'm gonna say about the Bills. And then you have the Seahawks, and of course, they did lose to the New Orleans Saints. And let me just say this right now, because I know you guys are going to want to hear this. There's a new member on the list of Dangerously, and it's the refs in that game against the Saints with the Seahawks. Some of the bullshit calls, and I know Pete Carroll and Richard Sherman went, today, they just went off on them. Because I'm just going to say right now, refs in that game, you know what? You know what you just made? You just made the list. You made the list of Dangerously with Dan Quinn, Atlanta Falcons, stupid idiot from last week. Now it's refs in Seahawks game. Stupid idiot. So the refs in that game, you just made my list of Dangerously list. So you guys got to. The only way they have to grease their freaking palms just to make those big time calls. You have to grease their palms. They're on the take, as my man, as I always say with these refs in any game, they're on the take. They're making calls with whatever they see. Whatever they see, they're gonna call. And of course, I know some people are gonna bitch because I said the same thing. I may sound like I'm being salty about this, and I know a few weeks ago with the Falcons game, I was just saying, oh, Falcons fans are just salty and bitchy about this call. I can be salty and bitchy all I want because I am a Seahawks fan. That was some bullshit. So, but let me get away from that. In this matchup, I am going to take the Buffalo Bills to beat. No, not the Buffalo Bills. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Buffalo Bills. What the hell am I talking about? I must be drunk if I'm taking Buffalo Bills. No, I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Buffalo Bills because, of course, Cam Chancellor, hopefully he's going to be back. Thomas Rawls, hopefully he's going to be back. Of course, we're not going to have Michael Bennett for 2 to 3 weeks, so that's going to be a trouble. But, of course, the Legion of Boom shows up. And, of course, the Bills, if they don't have LaShawn McCoy this week, they're going to be in trouble. And, of course, I did hear Sammy Watkins could be back soon, too. So, if LaShawn McCoy's not playing, they ain't winning. They're winning either way. So I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Buffalo Bills. And those are my Week 9 NFL predictions. I hope you enjoyed my predictions. Comment below. I know there's a lot of football fans out here, and I love when you guys comment about what you think for your team's winning. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Let's have a great conversation about it. I'm always on to reply. Like, if you've seen any of my videos, I do reply to your comments, even though sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're kind of, dissing, but sticks and stones. Of course, please like, and the likes, of course, keep the likes coming, keep the comments coming, keep the views coming. Please like, comment, and subscribe and become part of my Dangerous Alliance, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!